Hello and welcome to episode 127 of the Pixel Street Podcast. This is the podcast where each and every week, sometimes on time, sometimes not on time, sometimes not at all, we get together and talk about video games. That's it. That's the podcast. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
That's it.
This week we actually have some news, which is surprising because I feel like there hasn't been much news because of the holiday and everything that just happened. But we're going to be talking about some Lucasfilm Games stuff. CD Projekt Red has come out and spoken, and some Sega stuff, along with what we've been playing. But as always, you can go to our YouTube channel, follow it, subscribe there. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers so we can get a custom URL. So it would be greatly appreciated if you did that. Also, go check out our Twitter at Pixel Street, and you can see our pinned tweet there where you can find our YouTube, our Discord, all that jazz. Join our Discord, and you'll see us posting about community game nights and stuff like that. Pixel Pal Party Nights is what John calls them.
Yeah.
As always,
It's our official name.
I'm joined by John Hansen. John, Nacho Cheese Machine. Christmas is past.
It's at my dad's. I haven't seen any family, so I don't have it, but it's at my dad's.
You tell me you were able to go get an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5.
I also had those delivered to me at that time because my roommate had
John,
COVID.
Priorities here, all right? I expect a full-on video. I think it's a used one, isn't it? The Nacho Cheese Machine that you got? Or is it brand new? Oh, I don't know.
I would assume brand new.
I don't know. But either way, I expect a full unboxing video and review of this goddamn Nacho Cheese Machine. I also want you to test putting other things into it.
No.
Like, will it melt down chocolate? Can it double down
Ew.
as a fondue
Ew.
machine?
Chocolate? No. Not a big fan of chocolate, so I'm not doing that. And also, I don't want to mess up anything. I want it to work perfectly forever. So only nacho cheese is going in it.
All right. And as always, we are also joined by Connor Not a Cop, who apparently is sending us stuff in the mail.
I am. I'm going to be sending you both care packages. See, the funny thing about the story is that I told you guys like 2 weeks ago that I was going to send you something and ask for your addresses, and both of you texted your address to me. I have that screenshotted, so I have proof that I told you, notified you that I'm going to send something to you. But when I brought it up today, both of you said, "What? What packages?"
So what are you going to send us?
Oh, I'm not telling you.
Great.
His wife is finally making him get rid of his
box of dicks.
Yeah, his wife's finally making him get rid of his porn collection.
Hey, all I'm saying is that if John records a review on a nacho cheese machine, I don't know that we can upload that one to YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be safe for YouTube on what he would do with that machine.
I kind of assumed he wasn't wearing pants the whole time. Is that what you assumed?
When am I ever wearing pants?
Here, let's see. Just rubbing hot cheese all over your fucking shirtless body.
Oh, gross.
Just
if there's ever a cheese
rub the
shortage.
Cheese on, let it dry and hard enough. That will be my clothes.
To be fair, we would break into a very niche market if we uploaded
what's the consensus on cheese? Like what's the best cheese? What is the endorsed flavor of cheese from Pixel Street?
It depends on what you're putting it on. If it's a sandwich,
depends who's gonna pay us.
Yeah.
If you just had if you just had to pick one cheese, what would that one cheese be? Mine would be Swiss, personally.
I'm a Munster cheese guy.
I can respect that, absolutely.
I don't know what Munster is.
John's favorite cheese is the cheese in his mouth.
That is just a single Midwestern man at his finest.
Yeah.
Just
what's American cheese?
Is there any kind of cheese besides American?
I'm disturbed that you don't have an answer for that.
But
cheddar.
anyway, we are not here to talk about cheese. I mean, cheddar's a safe bet because you can melt it onto things. Like, any cheese you can
Give me
melt
some
onto
sharp
things,
cheddar.
but it's not as like I'm not trying to melt cheddar cheese onto my or Munster cheese onto my nachos. If you know what I mean.
I don't know what Munster is. What is it?
It's a white cheese. It's a white cheese. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Is it
Monster? It's not
Monster,
spelled like monster.
M-U-N, I'm guessing.
M-U-E-N?
M-U-E-N, yeah.
S-T-E-R? Monster cheese.
Monster
cheese. It's very good. It's got a nice solid bite to it. It's like aged Swiss almost.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it looks like it's just been left out for days.
Well, anyway,
all right.
We are here to talk about video games, nonetheless. Let's talk about what we've been playing. John, I see you've been playing some backlog games. What does that consist of?
So I talked about this in, I guess technically it's last week's show with Holden. I've been going through a lot of backlog games. I talked about how I beat the first Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros. 2, The Lost Levels, Sea of Solitude, just a bunch of games on my backlog that I've gone through and beat. Since then, I've been kind of sick, so I haven't really played much, but I did start up New Super Lucky's Tale. I'm having a real hard time seeing what's different between this and the old game, because it feels like exactly the same game, but whatever.
When did the old game come out?
It was a long time ago, like 2016 or something like that. 2017 maybe.
4 years ago, a long time ago. Get out of here.
I didn't know it was a thing. When New Super Lucky Tale came out, I just kind of assumed it was like a remake of like a PS2 game or something.
No, it's not a very old franchise.
The first Lucky's Tale is it's an Oculus game.
VR exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they made this because everyone really liked the character and just the platforming aspect of it. It's just a 3D platformer. It's super simple, super easy. It's pretty much a child's game. But I've been looking for something to play. I might play Injustice 2 because that just hit Game Pass now that I'm feeling better. But yeah, I haven't played much in the last few days, honestly.
All right. Connor, what have you been playing?
So I've been dumping a little more time into Hades. I spoke about a lot about it on our Game of the Year discussion. And at the time, I hadn't quite beaten the game yet. Happy to report that I have done so now. It is a run-based game, so just a quick refresher. You spend each and every run kind of curating a different build from boons and weapons that are offered to you throughout. And the goal of the game, in order to roll credits, is you have to complete the run all the way through, beat all the bosses, all the levels, 10 times. At that point, roll credits, you finish the game. I did that probably 4 or 5 days ago, and since then have been happy to find that there's a huge epilogue available after you beat the game with tons of story threads to continue. So kind of picking away at those. Game's fantastic, man. The variety that's available to you to build on and kind of theory craft and work with to come up with different ways to navigate each section of the game. It's absolutely fantastic. It also offers a really cool system to kind of flesh everything out and create different encounters rather than doing the same thing over and over and over again, similar to a roguelite. Yeah, it's super cool. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to do with that game. I've got like 80 hours in it already, and I haven't beat it. It honestly got me thinking that it's my favorite RPG that's not an RPG, because it's got a lot of like really cool story thread RPG elements in it that I think make it a fantastic game. So chugging through that, trying to decide what's next. I did fire up Final Fantasy VII Remake for a hot minute and start poking around with that, but I just wasn't feeling it yet. I just don't think I'm ready to play something like that. Joel, you spent a ton of time with Final Fantasy VII Remake, didn't you?
Yeah, I played through the whole game. I didn't like go back and do any of the extra stuff or anything. Like,
sure,
there's a bunch of like virtual trainings that you can do. You know, a bunch of side quests for, you know, basically to get the platinum. I didn't do any of that.
I am having a hard time. I don't know if I'm approaching it too much as an action game, and maybe should scale it back a little bit, but I am having a hard time with the combat system, just kind of grasping it and really feeling like I'm competent with it. Is that kind of a similar struggle that you shared with it, or?
Not really. I think honestly what it comes down to is knowing kind of every character in your party's strengths and weaknesses, and being able to switch around on the fly to kind of accommodate what you're trying to do. Like
that did seem to be a large part of it that I was missing. Was I was trying to just play as Cloud, run through it as Cloud, and not have to worry about the other people. But I think you're right. I think I'm gonna have to spend some more time with the other characters. That said, that was cool. I put about 2 hours into that so far. Aside from that, though, just kind of sitting, waiting, deciding. I am playing some older stuff too, but nothing really worth talking about right now.
Gotcha. As for me, I've been playing more Warzone. I don't know. I'm enjoying it a lot, especially playing on PC. I feel like it's much smoother.
Are you always running with a full squad?
Yeah, almost always. Why?
Oh man, I would be interested to get in on that. It's been a while since I played Warzone, so.
I mean, if you see me on it, just hit me up because usually we're playing like trios on that new map. But if we had a fourth, we would probably go to Verdansk, which is the OG map.
How is the new map compared? I've seen nothing on the new Warzone modes. So.
It's much faster paced. So like if you jump out of the plane right away, you could get all the way to the opposite side of the map. So like that's how small the map is. And I honestly prefer it over Verdansk because like in those larger BR maps, it kind of feels like you could spend a half hour looting and everything and then just like die right away, and it feels like it was for nothing. Whereas on this new smaller map, like I find myself getting like 6 kills a match just because I'm killing people, and then they can depending on the game mode, there's 2 different ones that kind of shuffle in and out. One's called Rebirth, which means that they respawn. So like if me, you, and John were in a squad, the 3 of us, and I died and you died, Connor, as long as John stays alive, we're going to spawn back in and parachute back in. But if John were to die as we're both dead, 'cause there's like a countdown, like a 30-second countdown. If John were to die, then our whole squad would wipe and we'd have to join a new match. And then after a certain
point... You basically have to wipe squads in order to advance.
To keep them out. Yeah, or wait it out long enough.
That's not new, is it? I feel like they put that in like a year ago.
No, yeah, I think they did, but it's new on the new map. Like they keep shuffling... Because, like, their playlists, they keep shuffling in and out. So, like, the 4-man squad on Verdansk, that's a standard. That's always there. But on this new map, they keep switching out, like... They had a duos at one point. I think right now it's a trios. At one point, they had quads on the new small map. So they just keep shuffling it out, which I kind of don't like. Because, like, when there were quads, we would have a full 4-man squad that we were playing every night. And then one day, they changed it to trios. And we were like, oh, fuck, well, what do we do now? Because like there's just one odd man out if we want to play on this map.
Right.
But I've been enjoying it overall. I don't know. I like the new map a lot more just because it's faster paced. I don't like the slow pace of the large map. Other than that, I've been dabbling with some Cyberpunk 2077 on my PC. It runs well. I get like 90 frames per second playing 1440p with ray tracing on, which is real nice. I don't know. It runs a lot better on PC for sure. There's still definitely a shit ton of bugs.
Yes. Yeah, there certainly is. And it's my biggest problem with the bugs is that as soon as you encounter one, you know you're about to hit a bunch of them all at once. Like things are just going to go fucking wonky, which is a bummer. But that game's pretty. It's very, very pretty, especially with the ray tracing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. And having more than... You know, on my Series X, because there's no next-gen patch or anything right now, it's like 30 frames per second, and that's like max. So most of the time, you're probably getting like 20 to 25 if you're in like a populated area. But having like at least 60 frames per second constantly is real nice on PC. It's a huge game changer. But yeah, I'm going to play more of that. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep playing Cyberpunk on PC and just beat it there. And then once the new next-gen patch comes out, I'll start continue my V on Xbox. And maybe work towards...
You'll have some time because they just said today it's not coming until the second half of this year.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's jump right over to the news then. First thing we'll go over is CD Projekt Red. This comes from Kotaku, from Ethan Gach. I don't know how you say his name. CD Projekt Red apologizes for Cyberpunk 2077 bugs, says it's avoiding crunch on all future projects. In a video on Twitter and a Q&A posted on the company's website, CD Projekt Red co-founder Marcin Iwinski, I'm probably botched that, but he apologized for the state of Cyberpunk 2077 launched, or for the state it launched on consoles, shared a roadmap for the updates of the game coming in the future, and said the studio would deliver these fixes without any obligatory overtime. And then, there's a link to the video. And then they did have a roadmap here that showing, the game was released, and then there were 3 hot fixes before the new year. And then they have planned, at the beginning of the year here, patch 1.1 and 1.2. And then after that, it's kind of up in the air of what they're going to do. It just says multiple updates and improvements. And then closer, it looks like, on this timeline, it looks closer to the end of the year, which John just said is going to be, past halfway mark of the year, past June. The next gen console update, which is a huge letdown because I was expecting that to be, May at the latest. And then obviously there's free DLCs in here, which I feel like is a bad look to add free DLCs to the game before, the game actually runs on these consoles that you advertised it to run on.
But it would be worse if they were charging for them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I think these DLCs have always been advertised as being free.
I don't know.
I think you're right on that one. I do want to kind of switch gears and focus on a different statement in here where he says that moving forward, there will be no crunch, or at least they'll be avoiding crunch at all costs. I thought that was the story to begin with. Like, this is a conversation. Right, that was one of the things that they were really talking up and speaking about in the lead up to this, was that they were avoiding crunch, they were taking care of people and not putting people in this situation. And man, I feel like there's no acknowledgement of that. That is what is really lacking to me here. The fact that they won't turn around and say, hey, we really fucked up and we promised to do these things that we did not do. And we own up to that. And until I see some kind of statement like that, man, it's just not good enough.
That's just kind of been the story with CD Projekt Red since Cyberpunk release, is just
right,
bad statement after bad statement, not really looking at what they did wrong, and just kind of they're just kind of trying to sweep it away and just look towards the future, which I get and everything. I mean, here they did apologize for some things, but I mean, this is just kind of a blanket. Oh, sorry, we'll do better. We promise.
Right. Yeah, and then like this whole timeline thing is like such bullshit. Like, why even announce any of this? Just be like, we're working on this stuff, all right? Instead of like, we're gonna have 2 patches, and after that, who knows? Like, we're gonna be releasing this stuff, but we have no idea when.
Yeah, I think regardless, the big takeaway here is that this game needed more time. This game should have been baked longer. It should not have been pushed out. It shouldn't have been crunched as hard as it was. This is a game that needed more love and attention, and once again we saw investors get in the way. We saw people with money bags in their eyes step in and say, hey, no, we need a project, and we need to put it out. We need to make money on it.
Didn't they say that investors had nothing to do with the launch?
Investors, sure. I'm sorry. I mean more of the leadership of the company.
It was more the pressure from the fans didn't have anything to do with launch.
Yeah.
That was what they came out and said.
Which is a bullshit notion anyway. Like, that should never be the reason that any game is pushed or crunched or, messed around with in any way, shape, or form. There's always going to be pissy people online. If you can't navigate that, I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to the 21st century, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah. This is just kind of like I don't know. It just seems like they're being shitty, just like trying to get out of all the shit they're in by apologizing, but it's just going to continue, honestly. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if we see a Jason Schreier article in 3 months saying that he talked to people that work there and they've been working 45, 80 plus hour weeks just to get this shit done.
And I hope this obviously goes in their favor. I hope that the developers there, their culture changes for the better. I hope that things move in a direction that's healthy both for them and for the company at the same time. And I hope that Cyberpunk is able to, eventually be the game that we saw over the years and that they hope to put out. Unfortunately, at this time, it's not that, but maybe maybe in a year.
It is worth noting that the statement says without any obligatory overtime. And I remember, I forget what game it was, but there was a bunch, I think it was Red Dead Redemption 2, but there was a bunch of crunch with that. And then Jason Schreier had an article that came out where he interviewed, talked to people that worked on it. Nobody gave names, obviously for obvious reasons. But they were saying that their bosses were hinting at them but if you don't take this overtime, then it's not going to look so good on you. So they're just going to be pressured into doing it whether they want to or not.
Yeah, that's one of those large scale problems with work culture and environments. And that's why you see things like labor laws introduced and, what do they call them? God, the word escapes me. Organizing. That's why you see, what's that?
Unions?
Yes, unions. Sorry. That was the word I was looking for. But that's why you see a lot of those crop up in situations like this, because it often cases becomes we're not going to tell you to do it, but if you don't do it, you're not really pulling your own weight. And when that promotion comes up, we're going to have that discussion. It's something's going to be it's always something that's held over their head in some way, shape, or form to kind of coerce them and get them to do it. So even I totally agree. The obligatory overtime thing, great, but it's a minute step towards fixing a magnanimous problem. It's not enough to really do much of anything to change here, in my opinion.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like we're going to see a report in 3-4 months saying just that these employees are feeling pressured to take the overtime even though it's not mandatory.
Right.
Real shitty CD Projekt Red. Moving on, John, you want to take this next one?
Yeah, so Lucasfilms is back. Well, Lucasfilm Games is kind of back. So Disney kind of just went out and over the weekend, or maybe it was Monday, they just kind of announced, hey, Lucasfilm Games is here. This is going to be the overhead. I don't think you would call them a publishing company. Maybe they are. I don't know. But the Indiana Jones, the Star Wars games, all that kind of stuff is going to be over this umbrella. And since that announcement, we got an Indiana Jones game announced from Machine Games, who are under Bethesda. They put out a small little teaser thing there. It kind of really reminded me of the old Avengers teaser, where it was just looking through all of his equipment, and then you see his hat, he picks it up, and there's the whip and everything. So yeah, Machine Games, they're the ones that make the newer Wolfenstein games. So it's going to be really interesting to see what this game is. They did make a point to say that this is nowhere close to coming out. They're just getting ahead of everything. I really think this is a deal that has been in the works for a while, and it just probably recently got pushed through and everything. So yeah, no idea what this game is going to be. Going to be really interesting to see what Machine Games does with it. The new Wolfenstein games are pretty good, but I just see no way that this is a first-person shooter game. That just doesn't fit Indiana Jones at all. So yeah, we'll see what that is going to be like. Todd Howard is going to be overlooking the project as executive producer. He will not... Pete Hines came out and said that will not affect his work on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, where he's directing those games. So this is going to be really, the team works on it. They come to him and they're like, hey, how's this look? And then he'll give some pointers or be like, hey, get rid of this. Yes, I love this. That kind of thing. Kind of like what Shigeru Miyamoto does now. So yeah, that was Tuesday. And then the day that we're recording this on Wednesday, Massive Entertainment, the guys that make The Division and The Division 2, they got slotted for a new Star Wars game. All that was said on is it's an open world Star Wars game. My guess is it's going to be another looter shooter, because it's kind of crazy that Star Wars doesn't have a looter shooter yet, and that would just sell like crazy. So I expect that's going to be what that is. Maybe you play as bounty hunters or something. I'm not sure. I don't really pay attention to Star Wars. But it is cool to see that Disney did take away the exclusivity deal from EA, although EA did come out and say that they are still working with Lucasfilm Games. So I would expect that Fallen Order 2 is on the way at some point in the future.
Yeah,
they're still making Star Wars game, but they're just not exclusively doing it.
I feel like we've been saying for years that, you know, it was inevitable that Disney was going to pull that Star Wars license from being exclusively for EA. Right. But EA kind of saved themselves at the end there with Fallen Order, because that game was a huge hit.
I wouldn't say they saved themselves, but it definitely helped them.
No, but what I'm saying is they saved themselves in being able to make more Star Wars games.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like if Fallen Order was, you know, not a success at all, there would be a drought there between Disney and EA from having a game.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they wanted to make another Battlefront through EA, I don't know.
Yeah. So first off, I want to like really talk about what do we think the Indiana Jones game will be, because they are making a 5th Indiana Jones movie right now. Yikes. But I don't think it's got to
be a third-person game, like almost like Uncharted.
Yeah, but is that enough? Like, I don't know. Indiana Jones just isn't that relevant anymore.
Yeah, I've never even seen the movies. So fucking get at me in the comments, all right?
I've seen them.
Also, me too.
I've seen them, and I like them better than Star Wars, but I hate Star Wars. So, like, that doesn't mean much.
my idea is, if it is like an Uncharted game, it's good if this happens to be an Xbox exclusive once that Bethesda deal goes through.
That's another thing we should talk about. Do we think this will be exclusive? Because I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, I could see it being one. I mean, they got fucking Spider-Man over on PS5, PS4.
Yeah.
Why can't...
I think if Spider-Man didn't exist, it would be very easy to point at this and say it won't be exclusive. But, you know, seeing how well Spider-Man's doing for the Sony crowd, I'm not going to leave it off the table. I don't feel comfortable enough to say that, yes, it would be, but... Yeah.
But do you think Microsoft looks at Indiana Jones as a competitor to Spider-Man?
No,
I mean, come on.
I don't think it's about being a competitor with Spider-Man. It's about having something attached to the Xbox branding that creates value in the Xbox brand.
I don't know.
And Indiana Jones, for me, thinking about it, you know, Sony went out and got a big IP and linked that intrinsically to the Sony brand. What's stopping Microsoft from doing the same thing? Again, I'm firmly in neither camp. I think it could just as easily be either or, but I don't think it's off the table.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's not happening. For one, this deal could have been in talks before Microsoft started the acquisition process, which hasn't even been completed yet. That's coming down later in the year. So who knows? I mean, once that deal does go through, we'll probably know for sure whether or not it is, because I mean, all Xbox has said since they announced that is we can't talk about it until it's done, and that everything would be on a case-by-case basis. I really see this being multi-platform. Indiana Jones is not as big as it used to be. I mean, yeah, they're good movies and everything except for Crystal Skull, but like, has there ever been a good game? Like, and when even was the last one original Xbox besides the Lego games?
There was an Indiana Jones game on the 360, I do believe. I don't know how it was or anything.
It was probably around the time it was probably around the time the last movie came out, I'd assume. The one
probably. Yeah, something like that.
Hopefully it's a new story and everything with this, and hopefully they do well on it. But yeah, Indiana Jones just is not really relevant anymore. I think
spinning away from that, I don't want to not talk about the Star Wars one for at least a second. Massive is a fantastic publisher, whether you're into the Division games or not. Those games are incredibly well crafted, very, very detailed. Very solid in terms of feedback from the audience. Thinking about what they do strongly, it is third-person action cover shooters. The last two Division games have been exactly that, and I could see the next Star Wars game, the whatever they're working on, being exactly that. You think back to some of the projects that were being worked on prior to Disney purchasing the Star Wars IP. The one that jumps to mind is Star Wars 1313, which some people might recall as kind of the underworld bounty hunter game. It, again, was an action cover-based shooter, and there's been a lot of talk about that in recent years. So I feel like that's a niche that could very easily be filled, and with Respawn kind of blowing the doors open on the whole single-player adventure thing for the Star Wars franchise being an okay thing to do, I feel like we could see something like that, and I disagree. I don't think that I don't think that this Star Wars will be a loot-based game, at least in early development. As Massive's already done those, and I feel like they want to do something else, and this is their chance to. Could be something cool. I mean, obviously, up to this point, most of the Star Wars projects out there have gone over fantastically well, as I'm sure you all know. But that said, if I remember correctly, the exclusivity deal with EA doesn't expire until 2023. They just have the option to renew it, and have declined to do so. So I think we still are a couple years out from that deal expiring anyway. So it'll be quite some time before we see anything come of it, much less this game here.
Yeah. Talking about the machine games doing different things, you have to remember we're talking about Ubisoft here, who are like the perfect example of if it's not broke, don't fix it thing. So
right. Sure.
And Ubisoft game having changes and everything, maybe
that
little
said, though,
cautious.
I don't know. It's you think about the Assassin's Creed games and how tired those got, and their series reinvention over the past 3 titles has been received very, very well. Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla have been arguably the most popular Assassin's Creed games to date. So I don't know, man. It could be something cool. I certainly understand you're jaded and tired on the Star Wars stuff, but I would love to see something cool come out of it.
Me too. Creed. I just don't want another looter shooter, so I'd be happy.
Sure, yeah, no, me too.
I probably won't play it anyway because it's Star Wars, but I just don't see it being anything different.
You talking about Assassin's Creed? I saw a TikTok the other day that was like back when Assassin's Creed was announced. Ezio had a crossbow on his back in like the concept trailer or whatever, and like they took their historical accuracy so strongly that they removed it from the game because people were complaining that like they removed it from the finished product of the game before it came out because technically with the timeline those had not been invented. And then it cuts to him. He's like, so here's me playing the new Assassin's Creed game while I talk to a bear.
Right. Yeah.
Like so different from when it first came out. Like the Assassin's
Creed. And that's another conversation entirely, believe me.
Yeah. All right, next article. Connor, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I think John is definitely the one to be more excited on this. So I will poke at the bear and John will be the one to speculate. But Sega came out and made a big old post on Twitter because that's where all the world news happens, don't you know? And they said, we'll be back for a first live stream of 2021 this coming Thursday with something special. More details to come, but make sure to follow us on Twitch to get notified when you're live. So the following tweet has a GIF on it with an attached link to their Twitch page. And the GIF simply shows an old CRT television with Sonic running across with the old Sega logo. So there's some Sonic stuff happening, presumably, in my
Sonic
thought.
Mania 2?
That's what I'm thinking.
Sonic Mania
we might
2?
see some
really
classic
hope
Sonic
so.
stuff. So, John, what are you thinking here? Sonic movie 2?
Well, we already know the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie is coming, and that it's being filmed this year. I don't think it's that. I think this is video game related. 2021 is Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary, 25th, It's something like that.
Hold on. I just want to say I love how all these games like major milestone anniversaries are like in the past 2 years. Because like we have that Mario one. Everybody's anticipating something for Zelda coming up here soon.
Pokemon
now we have Sonic.
Well, yeah, no, there are a ton of big anniversaries this year because, last year was Super Mario Brothers 35th. This year's Legend of Zelda 35th, Pokemon 25th, Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a lot of them coming out this year, so pretty exciting time for that stuff. I really want to check and make sure. 30th anniversary this year for Sonic the Hedgehog. So, there's going to be some Sonic news, especially with this being a Sonic GIF. I really think we could get something. Maybe since it's the old Sonic running past and showing the Sega, maybe that's a hint at a Sonic the Hedgehog, the original game remaster or like remake, like making that closer to what the new games are. I really hope not.
It's going to be a remaster of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
No, baby.
Here's what we're looking at.
You can kiss humans in HD.
It's not going to be Sonic related at all. It's going to be a Sega Dreamcast Mini.
Oh, man.
There has been talk about that. That
you joke, awesome. But I'd fucking buy it. I would absolutely buy it
too.
My Dreamcast is over on my shelf right now. I would
buy
it as well.
Yeah, I would buy it right away. I really hope Sonic Mania 2. That is the big thing I want announced this year for the 30th anniversary. But there's also a lot of talk about the next Sonic project in general, because there hasn't been one since Forces, which, I mean, wasn't great or anything. But you have to figure that they're like gearing up for something. I really hope for a Sonic Adventure 3 because I love those games and I acknowledge all of their problems and everything. But
they're still great though. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right. That wraps up the news. I'm sure John will have some sort of video if it's good news tomorrow. With the Sega stuff of him breaking down every pixel of a Sonic Mania 2 announcement.
All right. Well, I just got my weekend planned out for me.
I mean, you won't make a video if it's something not cool, obviously. Yeah. But let's go into quick news.
It's going to be a pin set.
Yeah. I still expect a video for a pin set.
Okay.
Going on, Hogwarts Legacy is delayed till 2022. They came out today and tweeted this information out. Honestly, not surprised.
Yeah.
No. This is just the first of
not
many
surprised.
games.
B, John's absolutely right. This is the first of many games. And C, Jeff Keighley even came out on Twitter and said, be prepared, this is the first of many. We're going to see so many games pushed out of this year, pushed to the end of this year.
I do want to give them credit for delaying it so early into the year.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I feel like there are going to be so many games that are trying to crunch to get their game out this year.
Yeah.
And then just to announce like in September that their game's not coming out in November.
I still hope,
like, it's coming out next year.
I still hope we see something from it though at some point this year. Just even a trailer for it. Just like that
leaked trailer. We're gonna get that leaked trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just showing us anything on it, I would be really appreciative of. Because there wasn't much shown in the reveal of it, even though we've known about it for years now. I hope at some point this year, maybe E3 time, something is shown, but we'll see.
Yep. Moving on, Arcane Austin's next game is a fantasy game.
Yeah. These are the Dishonored developers. Would you call Dishonored fantasy? I don't think so.
That's what I was going to ask. Isn't that kind of a fantasy game already?
I would say so.
I mean,
it's magic and swords, and I would go far enough to say it's close enough. Okay.
But them saying that this is a concentrated fantasy game, that really makes me think that this is like really diving into it. There will be no question. So I don't think this is a Dishonored 3. Yeah, who knows?
I think they would have came out and said if it was another Dishonored game.
Agreed. I think if it was just another game in the franchise, they would be like, "Here's what this is." But them saying that it's fantasy and kind of bragging about that in a way, it's got to be something different. Any wild guesses or speculations?
I've gotten that. I mean, I love Dishonored, so if it's something like that, I am down.
Fair.
What's the game they have coming out this year? Rewind, Loop, something. Looper.
Yeah.
Deathloop. That's it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
Moving on, I kind of had to take a double take at this next one that I'm assuming John put in here. You can now play Pokemon Red on someone's Twitter avatar, and here it is.
Yeah.
Watching the video,
you didn't see this? This is awesome.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I saw this the other day. John retweeted this, and it's genuinely one of the coolest things on the internet. I love it.
Yeah, so it's literally just this guy's avatar, and he's somehow worked it out that when people go into the comment or the thread for that specific thing, they just press up, down, B, whatever button they want to press, and the game will press it. It's just like Twitch plays Pokemon, except it's just a Twitter avatar. So whenever you go and check, it's got a different picture of a Pokemon Red screenshot, which is amazing. Like, that's the new can it play Doom? It's can it play Pokemon?
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Speaking of Pokemon, I ordered a Game Boy Color off the internet today.
I've been thinking about ordering a Advanced SP.
Yeah, I think Advanced SP, is that the fold one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
I
best
have one
one.
of those. I have
How
one
do you
of
not
those.
know?
You want to send it to me?
No, I don't.
Please?
I really don't.
Oh.
Just buy a Game Boy Advance Micro. There you go. That's
No.
where
It's
it's at.
terrible.
No.
That's
It is.
terrible.
It really
It doesn't
is.
play
It's
old
not-
games. It only
Yeah.
plays advanced games.
It's also hot garbage. It's too small. Actually, the thing to buy, if you're looking, you shouldn't have bought a Game Boy. There is a
That
company
new thing,
that
right?
makes yes.
What's it called? Game Boy.
God,
What
it's
is it
so
called?
fucking cool. It plays like a bunch of different
sold
things.
It sold out
Yes.
like right away.
I
can't
know,
think of
and
what
I'm
it's
so
called.
upset about it.
What is it called? There's like a black
Keep running
one
through the
and a white
news. I'll
one.
see if Analog Pocket. That's what it is.
Analog
Is that the
Pocket,
thing
here.
that you crank it?
No,
Get it-
No.
No, that's the other thing. We don't talk about that thing. That thing's fucking weird, man. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
No,
no,
the
this
Analog
thing I
Pocket
did
plays
want.
a bunch of stuff, like Game Boy Color, even plays like fucking Game Gear, Sega Game Gear, with an adapter, and it does it all on like a 1440p screen. Because if you're gonna play old games, man, why not play them to the max? Play them with the best
So
resolution.
why not play the good ones?
And it looks
Shut
so
up.
nice. It looks so nice. The
It's
screen and
gorgeous.
everything.
Yeah.
I have it.
I
up
remember
here on my
hearing about
screen.
that.
Yeah,
I
this is
just
something
really
wanted,
I really want an SP again, though.
but yeah, it's been out of stock. It starts shipping in May. It's $200 for reference.
Yep.
But the nice thing about this is you can plug an adapter in to play it on your TV.
Yeah.
They have
you
like
can
an
use it,
AV
like,
cable or
docked.
an HDMI adapt. Yeah, dock mode.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a dock. That's what it is. And then I
Yeah.
think that they announced that the 8-bit do, whatever you say it, those adapters are compatible
Either
with
or.
it.
Yeah.
So you can plug controllers in wirelessly.
You could play the original Pokemon, John, on your 4K TV. You could do that.
I can
That's
already
a
do that
thing.
through my phone.
Legally, John.
Oh, legally. I actually can do that because
Did
I
you
have
just
a Game Boy
DDoS
player
yourself?
on my GameCube.
Yo, I wish I had a Game Boy player as well. Those
Dude,
things are fucking
They're
cool.
awesome. And they're
very
really hard
expensive.
to find.
Yeah, I was gonna say very expensive if you want to buy one now.
Yeah.
Moving on, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury gameplay shown. I did not see this.
Yeah.
I knew it came out, but I mean, let's be honest, I'll get it anyway.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna get it. We're all gonna play it because it has online multiplayer now. What's really interesting is that they showed the Bowser's Fury stuff. I mean, yeah, we already know about 3D World and how that plays and everything. But the Bowser's Fury stuff, it's like really close to something you would see in like Mario Odyssey. Like, it's so weird because it like takes the cameras like behind you and you have Bowser Jr. playing as a co-op person, so it's 2-player co-op, and you're just like going forward through like something that you would see in a traditional 3D Mario game. It's really odd.
Wild.
Yeah,
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, it's such a big change from the base gameplay. And then they also showed Bowser. He's like lost control and he's like all furious and he's giant and everything. And then Mario goes and gets the cat power up and then he becomes a kaiju as well. He's like a Super Saiyan cat. It's really weird.
Did you have a fever dream last night?
No. Watch it and you'll think you're having a fever dream. Because,
okay.
Yeah, it's really odd. But it looks good. It kind of made me mad that we don't have Mario Odyssey 2, but whatever.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, why would you not do anything more with Odyssey? Like large form DLC or something?
There's so many things I want them to do, but they're just not.
I know. It's Nintendo. What are you going to do?
But hey, some Nintendo news is better than no Nintendo news, you know?
That you're really what is it when you wish for something and you kind of get what you want but not really, and it's usually bad? There's a term for it. God damn it. I'll text you guys later. It's fine. If you know it, put it in the comments or something. I don't know.
Kind of on the same note, they also announced a Mario themed Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
it
looks cool. It's the first Switch that the actual tablet itself is a different color. It's red.
Yeah. It's genuinely probably their best work yet in terms of special. I love special edition systems. Like, I hate that the industry has kind of moved away from those in a way. It sucks, man. Like, I want my console to look stupid and ridiculous, you know. My PS5, make that shit a spaceship, man. Come on.
It already is. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right. Hey, I also wanted to say, we're at the end of our quick news, and you forgot the most important news of the day. And that was that we have the 25th Pokemon anniversary this year. And
with
Nintendo, in a long, incredibly well-crafted video, announced their year-long musical collaboration with none other than Katy Perry. What does that mean? Nobody fucking knows, but Nintendo's doing it. So if you're into if you're into Katy Perry, go check it out.
They just pretty much came out and they said that the celebration this year, they're going to have a lot of the music's biggest stars and everything, and Katy Perry's the first one that was revealed.
Right.
It was really weird though that because they like did this like look back video where they had this ball like rolling through and they like showed like different generations of Pokemon, and then it's just like Katy Perry, and it's like, okay.
with no other fucking mention of Katy Perry. I dropped that video in chat this morning to Joel, and I said, you'll never guess how this video ends. No, and he texts back and he's like, what the fuck?
Like, because like it's like such a cool video showing like the history of Pokemon through the whole thing. Like there's it's like it's basically a Rube Goldberg project, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
And it just ends, and at the end it's just like you see the Pokemon logo, it says 25 or 25, 25, and then it zooms out a little more, and above it just says
Katy Perry.
What?
It's so fucking weird. I'm all for it. Like, I like the weird crossovers that Nintendo does, but man, was this kind of out of left field. Strange, weird stuff. But yeah, cool Nintendo news. So I guess all news is Nintendo news?
Yeah.
When you think about it hard enough.
Yeah, since we're back on the anniversary talk and we have some extra time to kill, I did do a quick lookup of different video game anniversaries happening this year. And so we mentioned Zelda, 35 years, Pokemon 25, Sonic 30. Also this year, we've got Donkey Kong is hitting 40 years. Street Fighter 2 is hitting 30 years. Halo is hitting 20 years. Skyrim is hitting 10 years. What else? I went too far back there. I really feel like there was more. Dragon Quest is hitting 35 years. Kid Icarus is. There are a lot for this year. Sonic F-Zero is hitting 30 years. Mario 64 is hitting 25 years, but of course they already did that. Resident Evil is hitting 25 years. Crash Bandicoot 25 years. Persona 25 years. Wow, there is a lot. For 20 years, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Brothers Melee, Pikmin, Animal Crossing. I mean, Xbox in general is 20 years, of course. There is a lot of big anniversaries this year, so who knows what we'll see.
Hopefully some cool stuff, man. I want to see some ridiculous celebrate. Some of my favorite pieces of video game art are grossly ridiculous anniversary pieces. Like some of the coolest systems that Nintendo's ever put out were anniversary pieces. Thinking of the Majora's Mask anniversary 3DS did. Gorgeous.
I've got it.
Absolutely gorgeous. The 25th anniversary like Mario Bros one, also gorgeous. Yeah, there you go. Check it out. One of my favorite DSs of all time. But
absolutely,
some of my favorite gaudy pieces of tech are anniversary pieces, and I'm game for it.
The PlayStation,
give me all the cool shit.
The PS4 original one. Oh, that was amazing.
That thing's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the PS4 50 million copy edition.
Yeah, that clear or opaque blue system they did. That thing's really nice too. Fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we've all heard talk about how the Series X and the PS5 lend to like really cool custom and like collector's editions, but there just hasn't been any talk about it yet. I figure at some point this year we get at least one for them.
God, I hope so.
It's got to be a Halo one, right? At this
point, I would hope so.
Halo would be one. I would also think God of War Ragnarok one for the PS5.
Sure.
Like they could definitely put the runes on the plates and everything.
Yeah. Man, on that top, why won't they sell removable faceplates for my goddamn PS5, okay? I want some 360 era faceplate bullshittery.
They've been shutting down other companies from doing that. There was a company that just recently tried putting out PS2 PS5s.
Yeah.
And I think they were shut down already. We already had the other company that was trying to put out faceplates as well. They just don't want people customizing them, apparently.
It's wild.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Crazy.
But anyway, that wraps up episode 127 of the Pixel Street podcast. As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. You can find our pinned tweet there to join our Discord channel. We're always chatting in there. We're usually talking shit about one thing or another. In this past week, I talked shit about Kenny not doing good in Warzone. I even posted a clip in there calling his ass out. Yeah, join our Discord. Subscribe to us on YouTube because we want to get a custom URL. And we're not even close. So subscribe there. Check out our unboxing videos over there. I should be posting an unboxing video of my headset here that I'm wearing pretty soon. I already have the video. I just got to upload it. Cool. You can follow me on Twitter at Campo63, twitch.tv/Campo63. John, where are you at on the internet?
On Twitter, I am at Revix Shadows. You can also find my writing on GamePer. I recently got my Halo Infinite piece put up, saying that you should not give up on that game yet. I also have a Hitman 3 article that is in the process of being edited, and that might be up before this podcast goes out, so be sure to check that out. I also have a list video that I am working on for our YouTube, so be sure to check that out. I was hoping to have it done this Tuesday, but I got sick, so I'm gonna put it out next Tuesday, so be sure to check that out. It'll be a good time.
Is Hitman 3 out?
Comes out next week.
Okay. Connor, where are you at on the internet?
You can find me on the internet
Pornhub.com.
on Twitter, Twitch, and OnlyFans
I'm a brony.com.
at The Real Birch. Birch like the tree without the I, BRCH. I uploaded some Cyberpunk screenshots recently. That game's, man, I love the photo mode in that game.
How do you get in photo mode on PC?
It's N, I think.
Okay.
You press the N key.
I didn't try or anything. I'm just curious. It's escape.
You should try.
Alt F4.
It's there. You can like pose V in a bunch of different poses, and there's like ridiculous ones too. Like you can Slav squat with V. You can paint me like one of your French girls. It's a good time. You should take pictures.
Squad. Why do I feel like we're gonna get fucking copyright strike or something?
How do you not know what the Slav squad is?
No, that's the problem. Is I do know what it is, but I've never heard anybody refer to it as that. I feel like that's kind of you're kind of tiptoeing around something we shouldn't be tiptoeing around.
No, absolutely not. It's fine.
Yeah,
that's
so that
it.
wraps up episode 127. We're gonna go do it.
You're still here? Why are you still here? Go.
We're gonna go record
Podcast
over. No, stick around for the after party.
After party will be up on Sunday. Bye.
See ya.
Later.